Everyone, this is a CBR huge news alert. Your favorite character from Captain America the Winter Soldier has returned. No. Oh, hey look, it's Noob Master 69. That's canon now. Oh, not him, he's definitely roadkill. I'm talking about Batroc the Leaper. Yes, Batroc is back in all his leaping glory and ready to be a major thorn in the side of Sam and Bucky. But if he's going to be as big of a villain as we think he is for the show, you need to know his crazy backstory. Let's get into it right now. Batroc's MCU origin and his comic origin is a little different, which makes sense given the general silliness of the character. But I think the movie franchise has done a great job in keeping him gritty and grounded. Well, not necessarily grounded because he likes to just drop into a scene mid-leap. It's impressive. So what do we know about this guy? Well, in his first introduction in Captain America the Winter Soldier, we learn he's one of Interpol's most wanted criminals, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. The world they live in is slowly being filled with more and more supervillains with powers, and this guy is near the top of Interpol's list? Good for him. He's known as a mercenary and a pirate, which is automatically like the two coolest professions out there, right? I mean, characters like Zemo and Killmonger are mercenaries too, but are they also pirates? I don't think so. Point to Batroc. When we first meet Batroc, he and his merry band of pirates have taken control of the Lemurian Star, which forces Cap and his strike team to go in there and knock some pirate heads around. Of course, this turns out to be a front. Actually, Nick Fury hired Batroc to hijack the ship as a way to uncover top-secret information about Project Insight. This tells you not only that Nick Fury isn't afraid to try underhanded and dangerous methods for the greater good, but it also shows just how connected Batroc is to higher-up authorities. He's a perfect weapon to use when you need a job done, and although he's not a super soldier or anything like that, he's still a formidable fighter, strategist, and tactician. He's also not afraid to go against the odds. When he fights Captain America, he actually challenges Captain America to a fist fight without the shield. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather get knocked out by a shield throw than a Captain America super soldier punch. I just imagine that yes, the shield is strong, but Cap's punches seem like they do more damage. At least that's my thinking. Wait. On second thought, what am I thinking? Have you seen how that shield moves? It could probably decapitate you if you're not careful. Okay, never mind. Batroc is a straight-up genius for finding a way to get Captain America to put down his shield. You think that would have worked for Thanos? Thanos would have seen Cap with the shield and Thor's hammer and just said, "What are you without those weapons?" in an attempt to get Cap to put the stuff down? Hey, you never know. Maybe that would have worked. So what made Batroc so deadly? Well, he was born in France, which is obviously where the best trained assassins are born. It's all the escargot in their system. It makes them light on their feet. Anyways, at first he joined the French Foreign Legion and eventually worked his way through the ranks, amassing a scary, confirmed 36 kill count. Sure, that's not half the universe-level numbers, but it's still a lot for a regular guy who just kicks a lot. After that, he became a freelance mercenary, which was pretty risky. I mean, have you tried working freelance in this economy? His taxes are probably just a mess. But at least it's flexible hours, right? And his reputation only grew from there. He quickly became known as the guy who liked to cause maximum casualties for the fun of it. He was captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. by the end of the movie, but clearly, thanks to the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we know he's on the loose and back to his old piratey ways. Only this time, he's hijacking planes and people. He's working with the terrorist group, the LAF, but something that's interesting is that the LAF doesn't necessarily have a comic counterpart. It doesn't look based on anything yet, which is an interesting choice when you have so much to pull from, don't you think? Anyways, Batroc is leading these guys, and I think this whole scene highlights Batroc's personality perfectly. I mean, he's on the plane fighting Sam. Yes, Sam kicked a lot of butt, but it seems like Batroc was gaining the upper hand and even disorients Sam. And yes, the plane is going down, but Batroc still chooses to jump out of the airplane in their cool flight suits with the hostage, hoping to get across the border in time. But really, dude? You have one Avenger on the ropes in the compact plane cargo bay, and instead of finishing the job, you decide to take to the skies? You know Falcon's whole thing is flying, right? That's like fighting Quicksilver and winning, and so then you decide to step back and challenge him to a foot race. Or it's like literally handing Hawkeye a bow and arrow to fight with. Why, Batroc? So how does his live-action character relate to the comics? Well, a lot of it's pretty similar. But in the comics, his personality and his abilities are just a bit more exaggerated. Like, he was still in the French Foreign Legion before turning to mercenary work, but he's way more of an egomaniac in the comics. Like, he forms his own group called Batroc's Brigade and primarily fights Captain America, but he's been known to tussle against heroes like the Punisher, Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Gambit, Iron Fist, etc. The dude gets around. And of course, in the comics, his karate style is more highlighted to include his feet. When he's first introduced to Captain America, on top of Batroc being delighted that Captain America knows who he is, Cap throws out the audience-friendly explanation of Batroc the Leaper, a master of la savate, the French art of boxing with your feet. So yeah, his legs are his real weapons. I mean, yesterday I didn't want to get up from the couch, so I used my feet to grab the remote control that was on the table, so I'm basically a mini Batroc. It should be noted that the comic version of Batroc is still relatively honorable. He likes to fight Cap one-on-one without any interference, and one time when Hydra betrayed him and tried to kill both him and Cap, the two ended up working together. Overall, I'm just amazed that they transferred Batroc's look over so well from the comics. All that purple and gold could look silly in live action, but I think he makes it work. And it's just a treat to see so much love for Batroc the Leaper. Maybe a few years ago, I would never imagine he would show up that much, but he's a steady presence not only in the MCU and the comics, but also in the TV shows. I mean, he's appeared in cartoons like the Marvel Superheroes, the Superhero Squad show, the Black Panther animated series, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Ultimate Spider-Man, along with a few video games. If I was a writer for the MCU, my new motto would be, when in doubt, use Batroc. But if there's one thing that's obvious about studying Batroc's comic history is that he generally works best on a team of some sort. Besides his self-named Batroc's Brigade, which he's formed a bunch of different times with different villains, he's also been part of a mercenary team like the one Claw put together to invade Wakanda. But there's really one that I should mention because it might be important for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. For a while, Batroc served in Helmut Zemo's Thunderbolts, and since Zemo is back for this TV show, it seems likely he's going to form a crew of villains to help enact his evil plans. In the comics, Zemo's Thunderbolts were posing as superheroes before revealing themselves to be villains instead. I'm not saying that the show will adapt the storyline exactly, but I could see something along the lines of Zemo is actually working with the just terrible and totally corrupt US government in some capacity, and recruits Batroc along with a few other superpowered people to cause mass chaos. Set photos for future episodes seem like Batroc will be teamed up with people with potential powers, so it's incredibly exciting to see just how all these pieces will fall into place. Just, next time Batroc, a word of advice. If you're fighting an Avenger on a plane and that Avenger's main ability is to fly, maybe next time finish the fight in close quarters when you're clearly winning before jumping out into open airspace with your hostage. But hey, you're the mercenary pirate, not me. Look, I know it's supposed to be gritty, but is giving Batroc his old, comic-accurate mustache too much of an ask? It makes him look like an old-timey villain about to tie a damsel in distress to train tracks. We need that look in the MCU, don't you think?